Okay, so we want to have a great conversation today. It's going to be fabulous. We It's so funny to me when even working with our current clients inside the incubator, and we're talking about the levers. We talk about this all the time. Like, what lever do you need to pull in order to get the result that you want, right? And there's really not that many levers that are available to you. So we overcomplicate it all the time. So we're there to simplify. Well, we hear often from people who are like, I'm ready to scale, I'm ready to grow. So here's what I'm going to do. And when we actually look at your your sales, your revenue, your team, your time, we're like that's going to do the opposite effect actually. Like that's going to be the thing that's actually going to make you shut down. So how about we not do that? And here's what we need to address instead. So we want to have a conversation today of what you need to be thinking about before you say, I'm ready to scale and I'm going to scale and here's what I'm doing.
Well, and just so I'm really clear, we are not saying these things because we want to keep people small or we
No.
want to be more successful than them or insert all the weird, crazy reasons you might come up with. We simply just want to give you some insight into what this might look like and you to self identify if that's something you want to pursue.
Yep. Yep.
Because I think there's an illusion of what it looks like and then a reality of what it looks like that are not
Yep.
the same. And so we want
Well,
to talk through that.
and I think people, okay, so like if you really, and this kind of leads into our first point that we want to talk about. If you really lean into, if you say, I want to scale, I want to do this, I want to do all of these things, are you saying that because it's what you actually want to do? Or are you saying that because you think that that's what's required in order for you to make a certain amount of money? Because that's what I often see is the case. It's like, I want my business to be making this much and I want to be making this much. So therefore, I have to have XYZ, a big team, multiple offers, lots of marketing, a big audience, whatever it might be. And I'm telling you, like, if you actually identify how much you actually want to make, like you personally, how much do you actually want to make? There is a much simpler route to get there than you think.
Well, and I think you have to figure out, is that what's motivating you too?
Right.
Like, it is you getting to X amount of dollars in your salary or your bank account the goal, or is there some other goal that we need to
Right.
be thinking about? Because what are you trying to have it afford you? And
Right.
sometimes lifestyle things, I mean, many times lifestyle things are afforded by money, but also you can set up your business in a way to give you back time. So like it just really depends on what is the goal of it, because sometimes you do need the money to afford the lifestyle choice you want. But if it's simply
Definitely.
about choice of how you spend your time, then that may not be something you have to go down.
Right.
But my thing for you, normally I have clients look at what do they want to make in the next 12 months. But I do think for this specific choice, I want you to be thinking a couple of years down the road, only because I think when we talk about scaling, you're not necessarily thinking of what's immediately going to happen. You're thinking more long term. And so I want you to think more long term of what you want. And it doesn't have to be, I think it'd be impossible to predict 5 or 10 years down the road what you
Yep.
want.
Yep.
But if you look at the next 2 to 3 years, like, is are you wanting XYZ and that would cost this, and thus you would need to be making about blank to afford that kind of thing? Okay, great. It could be an RV, it could be a lake house, it could be a new house. Literally, it doesn't matter what it is or how much it costs, but like, what are you, ideal scenario
Hmm.
looking for?
Hmm.
And if we can identify the financial piece of it, I want to figure out how close are you to that with your existing reality, and what levers do you really need to pull to get there. And it's not always necessary to scale, because scaling it in many ways implies more complication.
Well, and that's what
Whether
I really want you to pick apart with yourself of what does scaling actually mean to you? Like when you say scaling and you're saying this is what I need to do in order to scale, what does that actually mean to you? Is it a bigger business, a bigger impact, more notoriety? Is it more clients? Like what is it actually?
Well, and I mean, I'll tell you what it is. Actually, it's more. architecture behind your business. It's more infrastructure, more systems, typically more people, and typically more kind of moving towards a corporate kind of growth plan. And usually that implies bigger revenue numbers. But what are you trying to achieve by doing that? And I
Mhm.
think if you can understand, okay, maybe you want more notoriety. Okay, do you need to scale your business to get more notoriety, or do you just need a good PR person?